What's up, guys, and welcome back to Paint Bravely, the podcast where you can find a little bit of encouragement, discover new ways to make your hobby more fun, and most importantly, learn to paint bravely. Now, on occasion, anyways. We will start off today with a minor tip before we really get into the episode. I'm not sure where we're going to land on these hot tips. They're hot. They're coming in. And I know Brent has one locked and ready to go. So I just wanted to start this episode off strong. We're going to get going. So, Brent, before I ask you what you've been doing, what's your sweet hot tip?
Okay, my first sweet hot tip of the day. This is something I figured out recently, and I've seen people do this before, but I didn't know that I could do it. More specifically, I didn't trust myself to try to do it, and this is using an airbrush to put a black rim on your bases. Okay, so if you're watching YouTube videos like Casey's own eBay Miniature Rescues, you can see him do a lot of stuff with the airbrush. And for a lot of folks who are just starting to use this tool, a lot of that stuff seems out of range, really, really out of grasp, hard to do. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, that's like the precision stuff. That's going in and lighting up the face or making that wart green or purple or red. But also, it's doing stuff on the base, like real precision stuff. And anyway, this one hot tip is you can load up an airbrush with black and you can rim the base with it. And that's a nice, smooth coat of paint, and it's going to look good as long as you don't miss and hit like a lot of the rest of the model. But what I'm telling you here is you're not going to miss. You're going to do it perfect.
Yeah.
You can't paint scared. You have to paint bravely. And that's why we're all here.
I love it. It's so good. Do you want to explain how specifically to do that?
Yeah. So what I've been, and I've done this on like 2 models now, but what I found, and I'm really excited about this, but what I found is kind of holding the base upside down maybe gets the angles a little bit better so that you're squirting, your overspray is going not on the model, but off into space where it belongs. And so, yeah, hold the model upside down and kind of squirt up at the base rim. And I continue to be amazed at how precise you can be if you just actually give it a try with the airbrush. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, for the most part, if you do get a little bit of overspray onto whatever, the texture is on your base, it doesn't matter. That's going to be like a cool fade or a cool shadow effect or,
Yeah.
So yeah, if you have an airbrush, give that a try. Now, Casey, this hot tip has an addendum because I realize that sometimes our hot tips are about 3D printers or airbrushes. And this time I want to...
What if you don't have an airbrush, Brent? That's an unhot tip.
I'm glad you asked, Casey. Well, I also watched a Cujo video a while back that I have taken to heart. And this is, if you are, a mere mortal with regular old paintbrushes, one of the ways to get a better base rim is to go 95% around the rim and stop. So one of the dangers in working with liquid paint is that, regular acrylic paint dries pretty quick. You put a coat of paint on a model and half an hour later, it's dry and ready for the next coat. But realistically, 5 minutes later, it's already getting tacky enough that you don't want to be making brushstrokes in it and like ripping the weird half-dry film that's already started to form.
Okay, yeah.
So what Cujo recommended to me to do, and what I reasonably often actually take the advice on, is starting at the back of a Mini. So start at the back of the base rim and, move the brush along in a circle and then stop, once you're back to the, almost to where you started. Just leave a little bit of gap there, because if you make more than a full circle, you're going to be getting that brush into the paint that started to dry at, degree 0. And so, by the time you make it all the way around the base, that first little bit of paint you put on there is already starting to dry. You don't want to mess that up. So, do 95%, let it dry, come back, finish it off.
Okay.
Something to think about, something to play around with. I haven't always been a black base rim kind of guy. I'm not sold on that 100% even now, but it's often a good look. And it's a skill to build. And if you get it looking right, it does help.
Yeah. I think those are some solid tips.
Yeah, so we're going to just inject, quick, sick tips into these videos, and you never know when they're going to come. We want to start each video with a quick tip, something to really get you thinking about painting. And then, who knows where the conversation will go. We'll talk about movies and TV shows. We'll complain about people that we know that you don't know. Casey will talk about his family, the ones he likes, the ones he's, mad at for right now.
Yeah.
How's your sister?
She's alive. Well, she's doing good.
Okay, good.
No more issues. Yeah. And hey, she gave me a $25 gift card for eBay. It was a nice gesture.
You love eBay.
I know. And she knows that. So that's good.
Make a video called Buying a Mini for exactly $25.
I spin it. I spin it.
I still want you to go on that journey of putting 99-cent bids onto absolutely anything that's remotely related to Warhammer, D&D.
So I have been doing that.
Whew.
I have been. Okay, but nothing's hit yet. Because that is a long shot. That is the holy grail, right? Free shipping, 99-cent minimum bid, and you get the model, you get the thing that you want. It's such a long shot, but I am trying. I have put several in.
You reminded me, I have a quick eBay story. Again, we're going to have quick tips, and then we're going to talk about stuff I bought. And you got to listen to that to get to the later sick tips in the episode.
The next tip, yeah.
So, Casey, you sell a lot of stuff on eBay, almost as much as you buy, as is my maybe not really parody, but
90-10, yeah.
Okay.
I buy a lot of crap.
So there was an individual who was posting a few entries for Chaos Warriors, and they were good prices. Now, here's the trick. They had pretty good buy it now prices and pretty good starting bid prices. So where the story is going is I hit buy it now on one entry, bid on 2 others, won them both, and this poor fool had to send me 2 packages. So
that's messed up. You really did that.
Right, so there was, I really love the new set of Chaos Warriors, the monopose ones from the Start Collecting box, and he was selling some of those. They were assembled well, and I think it was good. With shipping, $35 for the set of 10, which is a pretty good deal.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, and the starting bid was $25 or something, but no, somebody's gonna jump on these, so I better just
probably, yeah.
I mean, a warrior will jump on a deal like that, so I knew I needed to move fast.
True chaos.
So I did what I knew I needed to do, right? But then the same individual also had a Chimera mount up for a good price. Not buy it now good price, but the starting bid was a very good price. And so I just kind of
sure.
We'll watch this. We'll see where this is going. And There's also one of the Warcry war bands that's apparently good in Slaves to Darkness armies. They got a lot of armor. I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah.
Good for holding objectives or something.
Yeah, I painted one of them yellow.
Yeah,
Did the whole
did.
pink to yellow thing.
Yeah.
Man, okay, I got some beef with that. Maybe we'll get to that in a minute, but that's fine.
All right, so I throw those on my watch list, and a week later, eBay says like, "Hey, get back here, check these out." And by now, I already had my warriors in hand, and like, yeah, this guy knows how to assemble a model. Quite happy with my first transaction with this individual.
Sure.
Let's put in a bid. Let's put in a sniper bid here, and I got it, sniped it. And so I got a cheap Chimera, which is good because
that's awesome.
I bought I bought that kit with the two riders. It's got a wizard character and a Chaos Lord character, and so I got the two riders. Now I have two Chimeras. Like things are going real well in Goobertown once I actually paint like a lot of these minis.
Well, yeah, you got to paint them first, yeah.
And so things are going well. But I did feel a little bad about 2 trips to the post office. But hey, so we do need to talk about the morality and the ethics of this. But we also need to talk about why are you going to put a really appealing buy it now price and a really appealing start bid price? Like like that's,
I mean,
I feel like this person learned a lesson and they needed to be taught, not a hard lesson.
It sucks anyways. Nobody wants to go to the post office. I mean, okay. Yeah, like if you're gonna say, oh, this is buy it now for $35, and you're gonna put a bid, like starting bid $30, $25, like, come on, like nobody's gonna be bidding on that stuff. Right, it's just not how eBay works anymore.
And this person had a lot of their starting bids were $10 or $15 below their buy it now price, so they'd have a starting bid of $20, buy it now $35. And
okay, if you just subtracted the amount, a couple of bucks off or something, buy it now for, like, if those were all buy it now for 32, you probably would have thought about that a little harder. And like, well, maybe I should just buy all 3. That's going to save him money on shipping. You know what I'm saying? Combined shipping, you get all sorts, but you're still charging shipping on each auction, right? Yeah, just don't do that to yourself. Like, unless you're planning on doing an auction straight up, like, I'm starting this at this price, no buy it now. This is a pure auction. Like, ask the price you want for it. Because nobody's got time to sit around.
Yeah, I think pure auction or pure buy it now, both wonderful choices. It's the I'm putting up 10 listings on eBay, and some of them are going to sell out on day 1, and some of them are going to sell out on day 7, and I'm making 2 trips to the post office either way, and it'll just feel a little bit bad if I'm sending 2 boxes to the same people.
I'd be so mad.
So,
are you kidding?
So if you're out there, person from New Jersey or wherever it was,
now you know where Brent lives.
Look, we all learned something, and that's welcome to Goobertown. I don't know.
That's
thank you for your models.
Yeah. Whatever. I guess he got it for what he wanted it for, but yeah.
So, hot tip of the day: don't put bid prices on things you want to buy it now sell. Or
yeah, pretty much. If you want a certain price for something, then just put the price on it. Then that's what it is.
How many times do you want to go to the post office?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And obviously there are ways around going to the post office, but that's just what it is these days. I don't know. Something that I do notice quite often that I find kind of fascinating is if you watch items that have a buy it now price, more often than not, the seller will offer you a lower price if it's been on your watch list for more than a day or two. So you probably you're getting those, like a little notification says, "Oh, you have an offer." Like a buyer, a seller has offered you something on one of their auctions.
Oh man, I didn't know they could see that I put something on a watch list.
Yeah, so they know that X amount of people have it on a watch list, and they can offer everyone who has it on a watch list
Do
a
they
discount.
know the username of who? Do they know the specific usernames of?
I'm not sure, actually.
Okay.
Because I don't usually do that. I just do straight auctions. So I have no idea.
I was gonna say,
But
like,
I've gotten some sweet deals. Like some sweet deals.
okay. Man, I didn't know that by putting Chaos Warriors on a watch list, I was putting myself onto a watch list of sorts.
Yes,
onto
you
like
are.
multiple watch lists. Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Look, we're gonna have to give this some real consideration, but pretty sure there was a quick tip of the day in there somewhere.
You put everything on a watch list. Like, for real.
Yeah, no, if you're interested in something, for sure. That's
and
that reminds
it does
you to
actually
come back
fill
and
up.
snipe. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a limit, unfortunately. But if you're finding things that you're sort of interested in, more often than not, somebody's going to send out an offer a couple days later. Like I've taken, in fact, probably out of the last 10 things I've purchased on eBay, at least half of them have been, I've taken an offer from someone who offered me less than what they were selling it for, buy it now.
Okay.
So yeah, and it'll tell you the actual discount. It'll be like, oh, this is 23% off of their original price. It's like, okay, I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can counter offer their offer. So they open the door for haggling. It's just to your benefit. It's not at all for the seller's benefit. So you got to take those chances every chance you get.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, if any of you are getting, stimulus checks or anything, like you go onto eBay, you start watching some nice models.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're saying.
I made an offer on a set of models the other day, and I got a response back, and it was like, I gave a reasonable offer because they were kind of highballing it a little bit. I gave a reasonable offer, and they're like, oh, we won't accept this offer right now, but maybe if they don't sell in 15 days. And that just really made me angry.
Just
It's
respond, TikTok.
Right? Yeah, I should too. Like, I wanted those models. It's like, do you want money or not? Like, so yeah. What, you're saying you're going to drop the price anyways if somebody it doesn't want to pay your unreasonable price? It's just annoying. Like, come on.
Hey,
there's so many options
system
these days on eBay that there's no reason to try and screw people over and then be like, oh, well, just in case somebody maybe accidentally clicks the wrong button, we get lucky and make an extra $4 or $5. Otherwise, no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense to start high and then, start ticking your prices down, I guess. I guess they're just kind of doing that, but using the wrong words that make you a little bit angry, maybe.
Probably. Well, they basically said no, and if they decide, like, in a couple weeks, then maybe they'll take my price. Yeah. So the next time I send in an offer for the same thing, I'm gonna offer even less.
Yeah.
And see how far this game can go.
This is actually exactly what happens at I can't remember. I think it might be called the auction room at conventions. So I remember remembering Gen Con where they have a big room in this convention center where they just it's a used marketplace, but all of the items have 3 price tags on them. They have Friday price, Saturday price, Sunday price.
Gotcha.
And yeah, it's very much like we're hoping this will sell for the Friday price, but on Sunday I really don't want to take this back home with me. So it's a it's a fun little game of price discrimination there to see what you're gonna get for it. Yeah,
that's interesting. Okay, well, hypothetically, you walk into a situation like that. Like, what do you think is the actual best option to take? What takes you and your money to go in there and purchase?
In that situation, what you do, you find an item that you want to buy on Sunday, and you hide it. Yeah. You hide it under some...
you just shove it in the back of the box.
Yeah, you hide it under the Blue's Clues collector's set or something.
Oh, okay. That's
where you buried that
So you
item.
play shady. That's what you do.
Yeah, and then on Sunday you come back and you dig up your buried treasure. Say like, "Oh, look what I found."
Yeah. So there are 2 correct answers in this. That was not one of them. Okay, so there are 3 actual answers, right? Either you suck it up, this hobby's expensive, and you just buy what you want day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you don't look at anything at all until Sunday, and you go through the scraps because they're the cheapest, and you know they're the cheapest, and you'll get something cool if you do. If not, whatever.
Well,
or if you just want to play it safe.
And, there was like a set of Guild Ball, a Guild Ball set that was actually the Saturday price was, or even the Friday price was not bad. But you're like, okay, there's actually like 3 of these Guild Ball sets. I bet at least one will be here on Friday, right? Or Saturday.
Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
It's got a whole game to it, and it's a lot of fun. And I would like to go back to conventions again someday.
I mean, as far as I know, every convention, I'm pretty sure at this point, has announced that they're canceled.
Actually, I got an email from Gen Con that said they moved to September, and also it probably won't quite be the same. And I don't know. I will consider that. That's
okay.
We'll see. See how it all plays out.
Interesting. Depends. I mean that is an interesting situation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a right answer, a truly correct answer.
I don't know. Both of us just love shopping for deals, though. It's how we ended up where we are, but it's one of the great joys in life. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I do like every day. So yeah.
So, do you got any hot tips for us today, Casey, or do you want to save those for a little bit later, maybe?
Well,
keep people on the hook.
I could throw out one good hot tip.
Okay, ration them out here.
All right. Yeah, ration them out. I got one. All right. Silly putty, like the kid's toy. Go buy at least a couple of them. But silly putty is some of the absolute best stuff for masking things off for airbrushing.
What if you don't have an airbrush?
Yeah. Silly putty is so much fun.
Haven't
you ever played with silly putty?
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, that's right. I got you there.
Tons of fun. Make little snapping
roll it up
noises.
In a ball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You bounce it because it's bouncy.
I forgot about that.
Ball.
That's silly. Yeah.
You get newspaper rubbings, whatever, the ink will bleed off onto that. Yeah. It doesn't take the paint off your models. It doesn't leave any residue or anything. It's really nice because you just kind of push it into the area that you want it and paint right over it. And then once you mash it all back up and the paint's dried, it doesn't really affect anything. Like, I've never seen anything bad from it, and even then it's like $1 for a new thing of silly putty.
It has been so long since I've handled silly putty. So I have blue tack around here, poster putty, that I use for a variety of things. And, so I have a good memory of what that feels like. But silly putty,
it's pretty much
it's been a long time. So yeah. I'll have to go online, get a few multi-packs, get a good deal on silly putty and give that a try, because I've actually gotten that comment several times recently on the old YouTubes.
Yeah. And I just I always keep some silly putty at my desk. There goes Brent again. All right, this is our time to shine. Okay. So I know that Brent went through some medical experiments not that long ago, and he doesn't really want to talk about it. So if you just want to continue to ask those questions in the comments, all right, he's coming back. Just do that. So I have a variety. He still doesn't put the headphones on. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm saying I have a variety of colors of silly putty. I think the pink one is probably the best one. Because it's standard. I don't really know what else. But yeah, that's my hot tip. I think that's pretty good too.
That's a good
silly
tip.
Putty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, should we just get into like what TV shows we've been watching and stuff, or we got more stuff to talk about painting, or?
I mean, I got lots to talk about painting wise. I haven't really been watching any TV shows, but I know you've been watching some stuff that I'm really interested to hear about.
Well, you told me to watch Willow, and somehow the movie Willow entirely snuck past me my entire life. I did not know of its existence.
Don't understand how.
At all.
I honestly don't understand how that escaped you. Like, you of all people, okay? Like, come on. Like, you're going out of your way to watch like D&D movies that aren't even good.
Right, right.
So here's a Lord of the Rings D&D ism, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's been there. It's been there since the 80s.
Yeah, the dogs in Willow, I feel like I have vague memories of seeing them at some point. Like,
okay.
Maybe it was on the TV of one of my like earliest babysitters or something, like a long lost memories. Like, I think the dog design looks familiar, but everything else in that movie was just entirely new to me. I was like, wow, this is a pretty good little fantasy movie. So it's got some charm to it. I can see this being
definitely got some charm. Yeah. Not only that, Disney Plus, they're filming a series right now. Yeah, with all except for Val Kilmer. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of the original. It's Val Kilmer. Oh man.
Yeah. So as I was looking stuff up on IMDb and everything, I realized Warwick Davis is relatively young. He could totally reprise his. Is Warwick coming back? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, Willow's
he's playing Willow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did not know this, but Warwick Davis was 17, I think, in Willow. So he's playing, a young man with a wife and two children. But he's apparently he was 17 in that movie, which puts him at, I think, 13 when he played Wicket, the Ewok.
I think I'm pretty sure you're 3 years off. So just add 3 years to each of those. Okay. So he was, maybe 2 years. He was 19 in Willow, as far as I know from the.
Okay.
I think that's in the special features.
Okay.
Yeah. Either way, I could be
wrong
young,
on
right?
all of this, but he's a relatively young man. He's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because he doesn't look like it so much. Like, he's got like I don't know, like his face
he's
looks
got like
older.
a strong jawline, but also very smooth skin. So,
that's true.
Putting these things together. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that like he was only a few years older than like those kids, and like his wife was way older than him in that movie,
Right.
But it's kind of cool because like, yeah, like he could go back now and it wouldn't look that different.
I mean, old Sheev Palpatine in Empire Return of the Jedi was Ian McDiarmid or whatever was not an old man then, so he's able to 20 years later be in the prequels of 20, 30 years
exactly
earlier.
The same.
And, it'd be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
His Sheev, he's fine. Yeah.
It's pretty funny, yeah, how they do that. But so you watched Willow. Now you understand. Maybe not understand, but you know that I'm naming my daughter after one of the main characters in that movie.
I forgot all of the characters other than Willow and Mad Madsen. What's Val Kilmer's name?
Mad Mickelson. Yeah.
Mad
Mardigan?
Mickelson?
No.
Mad Mardigan. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, Mad Mardigan. One of the coolest character names ever. Like, so stupid.
You know, we could make a pretty good supercut video of just Willow yelling Mad Mardigan. Like,
I guarantee you that's out there.
Multiple. Oh my God, Snuffles. No, stop it. Okay.
Yeah. Like, nobody says that name. It's just like a single name. It's everybody yelling at the top of their lungs at him or about him. Yes. It doesn't even matter. Mad Mardigan. Stop. Now the baby.
So if you have not seen Willow,
movie,
check out Disney Plus streaming services. And I didn't know about it before, but it's a fun little fantasy movie. It's got Val Kilmer in it. It's what are you naming your daughter? Because I've forgotten every other character name.
Elora is the name of the little girl.
Okay, the baby.
Yeah, the baby. Okay. The baby of the prophecy. Yes.
Man, I thought that movie was just going to fast forward 15, 20 years, but it did not.
No,
I was surprised.
No, that baby is in peril the whole time.
I thought there was going to be a time jump when the baby became a warrior woman, but nope, just yeah. No, there is a sequel
novel that, what is it, like Chris Claremont and George Lucas wrote together, that apparently is just a horrible abomination of literature that no one should ever read. I have not personally read more than the first chapter.
And this is who you're
so I don't know.
Naming your daughter after?
No, the movie. It's totally different.
just the baby who has no defining characteristics. It's a good name, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a good name. I just like the name. Yeah, in fact, it's funny. One of our friends got a onesie that says, like, you know, it's like join the revolution or something, like kill the queen, whatever. It's about the Willow stuff, but yeah, I just thought that was kind of cool. I should grab it or put up a picture. I'll put up a picture. How about that?
Yeah. Send all adorable baby clothes to whatever Casey's P.O. box is.
Oh my God.
They like getting that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that. It's in the description, but don't. It's not in the description. It's really not.
You have to go to eBay Miniature Rescues, and it's in the description.
Yeah. That's true, but don't do that. That's weird. Yeah, so you saw Willow,
right?
And what do you think of it? As a movie, because you've never seen it. It's crazy.
I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I thought there was some good imagery in there. Like I said, I like the dogs, like the castles, I thought that was fun, relatively imaginative. They got the little stream there. I like the village of not hobbits. That was fun.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely a massive play off of Lord of the Rings before really anybody else was doing that. It was probably why it didn't do the best back then. Like, fantasy was not like high cinema back then, right? Things have obviously changed these days, thanks to Lord of the Rings, which ironically took a lot of their stuff from Willow purposely, and it's in the special features. They talk about, like, you know, like the Gandalf, Saruman fighting each other, whipping each other around and stuff. It's directly, like, not lifted but influenced by that wizard fight in Willow, which is awesome.
That makes sense. Yeah. Trying to think if there was any like characters that would be worth like recreating as a mini and painting up. I don't know. Like, I don't know if there was any iconic armor, but I thought it was cool. The armor that they did have, they had chainmail and plate mail and stuff, but it was almost like Middle Eastern themed or like Persian themed, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. He had that like
Mongolian
golden suit.
almost. I don't know, like it.
Right.
It definitely had an Eastern twinge to it. Like when Mad Mardigan is getting into the old armory and he finds a suit of armor.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like Italian plate or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he fights a 2-headed Hydra. Come on.
I mean, that was good. Yeah, that was good. Huh.
Just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, it was, get a lot of witty comebacks, a lot of people yelling "Mad Mardigan." It was a fine movie. It was decent. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad I've seen it now, and can highly recommend it. Other than that, let's see what else has been up. I forgot to cancel my CBS All Access trial account, and so that cost me $10. If any of you need to double check on that, do it now. Better safe than sorry on that one.
Is there anything good on there? I don't.
Discovery season 3 was definitely better than season 2, and so I don't know if it was $10 better than season 2, but
I don't know. Considering the Blu-ray is like $25,
yeah. As long as I remember this month, I think we'll be all right. Yeah, I just went to pay the credit card bill, and it was like, yesterday you got hit by CBS All Access. Like, yesterday? Every time.
Very nice.
But,
oh, man.
Yeah, all right, we'll move off of viewing experiences here. What else you got for us, Casey?
I've been working on some pretty cool models actually. And I'm hoping you can kind of help me out. We've got a little bit of solution, but might need a little more brainstorming. Anyways, I've been converting some silvaneth spite revenants into what are called bog silvaneth or swamp silvaneth, using like Nurgle bits, right? And that's been pretty cool. Like I'm actually pretty surprised at how well it's going, because I looked through a lot of pictures online and there's some super cool stuff that looks difficult. But I gotta say, like, things are turning out better than expected. And by the time this podcast goes out, the second installment in the Bog Silvaneth series will be up on my channel, so you should be able to see the end result of those. But I'm having a problem. So last week's video was kind of talking about the theme, doing some testing. I painted up this cool display base type of thing, and I went to go put some like realistic water on the base. And from when I've done it before, at least with the water that I've had before, I'm using something new this time. Like, masking tape seemed to work pretty good. And this time, it didn't work at all. And it went everywhere. Like, resin, water, everywhere.
So, just sneaking past the base rim, you mean? So masking tape and then sneaking past the masking tape on the base rim. Okay.
Yeah, in just like one spot too, which is the most annoying.
Are you using like a 1-part realistic water, or is it a 2-part epoxy resin?
A 1-part.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty watery.
Okay.
Like, it's thin stuff. And it's still like 24-hour set time and all that stuff. And maybe with something quicker, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But like, yeah, I don't know. And the reason I want to kind of brainstorm on this, because I'm sure that plenty of other people have had this issue. Sure. You know, if you go to Hobby Lobby, there are several products that are like, they're called realistic water, and it comes in a bottle and you can pour it on.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I kind of wanted to brainstorm this out to see what the best solution is. Now today, I I went to 7-Eleven and I decided to get myself a big gulp because they're delicious. And I was drinking my big gulp and I got down towards the end and I thought, oh my goodness, this would be awesome to cut up since it's, cylindrical and use as kind of like a tube around my base.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, it's tapered, right? So if you just find the right place to cut your cup.
Well, and that's the problem. If it's the bases, the rims are actually tapered, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want the realistic water going over the edge. It's got to be on top. So I made this cylinder. I use magnets to kind of crimp the two sides. And then I use like PVA to seal the edges. So theoretically, this should do it. But then you start moving up in size to like ovals. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've done this before or have any awesome advice for me.
So not much. What I've heard about the one part realistic water is that you're supposed to do really thin layers and build them up.
Okay.
And I've done that on one project, I think. And to the point where I don't even know if I actually did anything on the rim. I think I just YOLO'd and like...
Right, just like water
tried
tension.
Tried to just like use surface tension to just barely...
Yeah.
And then I did that a couple times in a row just to build up a little bit of a tide pool effect. But man, I'm in brainstorming phase here. I would go with like just a little bit stronger Scotch tape, and so definitely say sense. Like, okay, the base rim is getting finished after all this. Like, just don't even do anything to don't try to protect the black paint on the base rim or anything like that.
No, like it's gonna have to be redone no matter what. Yeah.
But yeah, I would just get a reasonably strong cellophane tape and rim it that way, and that'll work on ovals or circles or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know. That's what's coming up in my mind. Yeah, anything where you can try to get a decent bond between the plastic and the tape.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man, this is Luke at Geek Gaming question. We gotta get him on the line.
Maybe we should. All right. So anyways, Luke, no, I'm not actually calling him right now. Wouldn't that be a thing? Maybe we will.
Okay. Are we going to get guests in year 2? We don't know. Year 3? We don't know. So
we'll see.
If we posed Luke a direct question about water effects, would we get an understandable answer? We don't know.
Not. I mean, if yeah, it really just depends.
It really just depends. Yeah, it depends on the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I can't help you anymore with your water effects there, Casey.
That's too bad.
But I have heard, and probably partially from Luke at Geeks Gaming, but that if you want to do a thicker pour, the 2-part epoxy resin is what you want. It's got everything it needs to cure right in there, where the 1 part, I think, requires some evaporation, and so you're going to get bubbling issues.
Okay. I could see that for like something thicker. Yeah, because I used some gel water stuff that is kind of like that, like surface tension, because it's kind of gelatinous and it has to evaporate.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my god, like, okay. So I do have to admit that like I did a whole thing about this doing this base, and I even showed me pouring the water in on the last video. And a couple of astute viewers noticed that I didn't actually show the base at all in the end. Like you can't see it.
Okay. Because it's awful.
And oh, it turned out terrible. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was kind of like joking before I did the pour in my script, because I record everything before, kind of. or at least with the plan in place.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, we'll see how it goes. It could be terrible. It could be fine. You know, it's like, whatever. And I just didn't even show it. So obviously, like, it did not turn out. Yeah. But I tried to save it with this gel water. And then it took so long to dry. And it didn't do anything. Like, it kind of made it was like Mod Podge almost. Like, it didn't do anything. It just kind of had some surface, you know, stuff going on the water that stayed there from when it all came out of the side. But
yeah, that's the type of hobby product where you need to have some faith and also learn from experience and probably mess up a few times. Yeah.
Well, and my problem is that I don't necessarily even have time to to redo something if it screws up, right? Like, I had to get the video out, had to get it out, and it was like limited time. So the print that I actually put on top of the base has some imperfections in it that I am not a fan of, but it's a little hard to tell. Like, it looks pretty good. And it's fine, whatever. Like, I screwed something up printing, so it's my fault.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, doing the water base like that just ruined it. It was like, well, I don't have time to fix it. So week 2, here we come. Like, that'll be a big part of it, is like solving this problem.
Hey, I'm ready for week 2. I don't know what you're going to do about this water effect. You might need a week 3 to really hash that out, but
I might blow somebody's mind if I went into week 3 overtime with these.
I decided it's nighttime here and just paint everything black. Like,
yeah, right. Just a little blue from the side. That's moonlight. Yeah. There you go. Well, my original plan was to do like a full-on diorama with like, you know, a nice plinthy base, and which would have actually made pouring the water easier. Yeah. You know, doing like plastic card.
I guess we should back up here, but this whole project is like 5 of these kind of bog trees, and then you have a big display base that they all go on, kind of like a squad display base, and it's got the big 3D printed ruin angel sculpture thing.
Yeah.
Here it is.
So I'm holding that up for the camera. You can kind of see it's still a work in progress. You know, just calling that a whip right now, because I'm not done with all of it, and you can kind of see like the water on there. It's just non-existent.
Yeah, make sure to shiny. Post on Instagram under the hashtag TrueWhips.
TrueWhip.
Hashtag mini family. Hashtag trapped under plastic, and just show the boys what you're working on.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's True Whip or True Whips. I forget.
Actually, I have no idea. Both.
Yeah.
That's, you know what? That's usually what I do, is if I can't remember if it's got an S or not, I'll just do both.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I screwed myself a little bit early on, like in the Instagram game of should I post under the hashtag eBay Miniature Rescue, like, cause that's what it is, or eBay Miniature Rescues with an S, cause that's what I am.
You're not a hashtag.
But I am now. It's too late. I'm neither, and I am both at the same time. Both hashtags, rescue and rescues.
Yeah, you know what? If you're posting on Instagram, just post up on eBay Miniature Rescue, eBay Miniature Rescues. It'll make Casey feel better.
I follow both, so
he's having a bad week. Yeah, he follows both.
Well, you never know what people are going to type in, right? Because you get different people. It's a different kind of thing. Like, some people are S people, some people aren't.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
All right, so you've been up in your Instagram game. I want to talk about something I tried.
Yes, hit me.
You ready for this?
What did you try?
You know what I'm going to say. So we started recording a little bit late today because I did a Twitch stream for the first time, and really not for any good reason, but I just wanted to see if I could do it. So I've been making little tweaks on the hobby space, and I know you've been doing the same too, Casey. So we can talk about that too. But
tweaks, yes,
light. Yeah. So I was making little improvements, little quality of life things. I have a PC that I use for like streaming Netflix or CBS All Access or what have you.
All the things that you forgot to shut off. I get it.
Yeah, I know. Mostly it's been Hulu and American Dad. I love that Roger. Yeah, Roger's great. Anyway, so I've been making little tweaks to my hobby space, and I had this older home theater PC, just means old PC, that had been sitting beside my hobby desk, and I decided to raise that up off the floor, make it get a little less hair, cat hair sucked into its filters, and it's good to do anyway. It gets the micro or the headphone port closer to my ears, and I appreciate that. It's little more rope there for moving my headset around. That's nice. And so yeah, I got my PC mounted up a little bit higher. While I was at it, I added and this is the big one, a paper towel roll holder onto the uprights at my desk. And I tell you, like the next morning after I made that adjustment, like I walked by and just kind of stood there all proud, like paper towel anytime I need it, right there. Because normally, I've got a roll of paper towels like around here somewhere, but it
doesn't feel the same when you gotta like find it, and then you gotta like unroll it, tear one off,
because you have water effects all over your desk.
Literally, yeah.
You got to be able to just reach over here, paper towel, and little things, Yeah. So I've been trying to ignore it, but Snuffles, the cat, has been like losing her mind recently. I think she's getting dumber. So she used to just like chase people and other cats around the room, but now she's gotten really interested in shadows and lights. So she barely interacts with the physical world anymore. She's just like chasing shadows around. And anyway, she was just, scampering around and having a good time and distracting me a little bit here. I'm trying to talk about my hobby space, which is already at least a level 4 hobby space. I'm just trying to keep bumping that up a little bit.
Yeah.
The paper towels in there. I've got, for filming, I have a poster board that I drape across the back. I switched that from portrait to landscape mode, that poster board. Lowered it down a little bit. Just really like small things, making little quality of life adjustments. But then you decide, you know what? Maybe, while I'm at this, I got this webcam here. Maybe I'll put a webcam here. Maybe I'll put a webcam over here. Maybe I could do a Twitch stream, because I actually really enjoy just lurking on Twitch. There's like a pile of different streamers that I enjoy just dropping in, saying hi, and leaving that on in the background. Yeah. And I just think it would be fun to go on Twitch, hang out for a little while. And I enjoyed the raid feature on Twitch, where you build up a few followers, and then you just take that party bus on over to some other streamer who's just starting out their night, and you drop off your crew, all your pals over there, and get that going. So anyway, I just wanted to see if I could do it. And so I got a couple of webcams set up. I got an old microphone hovering over my painting desk now. And just today in the mail, I got a $20 dongle that I was skeptical, but it takes an HDMI output from my good painting camera and puts it right into a USB 2.0 port on my old computer. And it works. It works. Like,
yeah.
My 7-year-old computer over Wi-Fi was able to broadcast a 1080p stream with a good camera for the Mini, a face cam, and an overhead cam. And I was shocked. And then, like, 50 of my best pals, except for you, because I didn't tell you this was happening, stopped on by to hang out in the stream. And it was great. It was great. Yeah.
Sounds like you had a lot of fun.
Yeah. I did have fun. And
I'm glad.
I spent a lot of the stream tweaking things and figuring out which screen to look at and which buttons to push and how to keep interesting things in frame. And
did you paint anything?
No, I showed off some Space Marines. I showed off some
Ooh.
blue Space Marines, which was fun, but didn't actually paint anything. I fixed a model I broke. I got the super glue out and real nice in frame. I showed myself gluing on a bit that I broke off earlier that day. It was a good stream.
That's cool. Yeah. You think you'll be doing that a lot more often now that you know it just works?
A lot more than ever. Yeah.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. I'm interested to play around to see if there's a format that is enjoyable for all involved. I think it would be fun to just hang out and talk to chat all day, but I would like to also get something painted. And if I'm spending my time painting, I don't know how interesting I can be for chat.
Right.
Today was actually doing a pretty good job of just like rambling constantly. I didn't get anything painted, but
that sounds like a normal Twitch stream.
Yeah, it does. But I do want to get things painted. That's the other thing.
So you'll be the one exception to that. Like, everybody shut up. I need to paint.
Talk to the hand. I'm painting.
Yeah. See, that'd be the thing. That'd be the thing to do. It's like, I appreciate your donations, appreciate your time. I'm just gonna shut up now and paint. And that's what I'm gonna do.
I don't know how to turn on music, so there's not gonna be any music, but
right. See, now what you do with that is you just build a playlist from like your epidemics, and you just have that going in the background.
I guess I could do that. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So, I was part of the reason I was impressed that this actually worked because the Netflix computer I have there at my painting desk is 7 years old and doesn't have a graphics card, and it's connected to the internet via USB Wi-Fi, and like, so I was, I did not tell anybody I was starting up that stream. I just and as people were coming in, I'm like, look, folks, no promises.
Nothing is happening here. Like, there's just a camera on. It was a situation
where I actually couldn't monitor the stream on that same computer. If I tried to also like have chat and the stream open on the same computer, just everything froze up. But I had a separate old laptop for monitoring the stream and monitoring chat, and the computer that was just tasked with actually broadcasting. That was running at the CPU was running at 90% usage the entire time.
I bet, yeah.
If I tried to actually monitor chat, it would be, that wanted another 30% CPU usage, so that wasn't going to happen. But
right,
things froze up quite nicely. But yeah, so that's an option. People had asked me about Twitch streaming before, and if I'd thought about doing it, or if that was, a plan I had. And the biggest excuse that I had was my actual good computer right now is the one I use to render 4K YouTube videos, and that is not at my painting desk. And that's either a lot of wires across the room, or it's moving a computer tower and like hooking it back up every time I want to stream, which just isn't going to happen. Technically possible, not actually going to happen. So
now this is where we kind of come into the desk level system and kind of figuring out your space, right? For me, right, like I have this this that you can see, youtube.com/paintbravely, the podcast, as this is being broadcast video, as well as podcast services. So this is my normal hobby space, right? And I film here. I have an iMac that sits up here that I can do that for. It's a basic computer. It's not anything super fancy. I did used to edit on it, but it's become practically impossible, what with the way that things are going, just with the Macs updating and, it's a whole thing. But I have a PC in my closet that I edit with now, but I also have that on a desk that has a garage light, like LED lights above that, and technically that used to be my painting space.
Sure.
So it can double. Like if I load up a wet palette, I can sit in there and watch a movie and paint, Nobody would even know the difference, technically. Yeah.
I want to see you getting back in that closet, Casey. Yeah.
I know, right? I mean, that's the thing. If I were going to stream, it would be from that closet.
Ooh.
Yeah, it'd be a bad day. I don't even know if I would want to do that, but my point is though, like,
you can never go back. Yeah.
I can't go back though. I know you have multiple situations, if we want to call them, around your hobby space, and you have monitors. I feel like this is a feasible thing. You could actually do this and make it work, even though your computer is.
Yeah, if I use the computer that I'm talking to you on right now to monitor chat, I just find like a good place to hook that up. I think it could actually be okay. It's like a 2 old computer stream could make it work. But of course the other thing is, like, I have had the hobby of building PCs before, and
sure,
that's a hobby that, unless you're really into video games, it kind of burns out once you've built enough PCs for, like, pretty much everywhere. You got your main PC, maybe you've got a lesser one at work, and maybe you have an even lesser one connected to your TV, and there you're good. You can stop reading up on the latest GPUs. You don't need it anymore. You have computers now.
Yeah, that's pretty much true for computers, especially these days. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, and so 6 or 7 years ago, I went through that cycle, and so I have a couple of computers of that generation right now, and they're good for various things. They're good for keeping me entertained and talking to you on Skype here, but no one of them can be a streaming computer, but with 2 of them, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Of course, the other fear is that I actually do enjoy myself enough that I just start going on newegg.com and like just making a little build, checking some specs.
Yeah, I can see that.
I probably would want maybe 8 cores. If 4 cores is almost enough, probably want 8 cores. 8,
I mean, if you're not doing 8, you're not doing it.
Oh, you're right. It's 2021. What are we doing here?
Exactly.
Life is YOLO. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, type in the comments below if you want to see me really make the most of what I have and do a janky stream, or if you want me to YOLO, just type YOLO.
Yeah.
Actually, and if you want Casey to YOLO, just type YOLO. Type YOLO, and
just because
one or both of us will YOLO.
I mean, isn't there such thing as like a dual stream?
We can buddy up. Yeah, we can have Yeah, we talk on Skype through what I'm assuming would be a third computer at this point. And
I got computers, man. We can figure this out. Just saying. We got computers. We got the 8 cores, we got the 4 cores. Probably have the dual core somewhere around here. Like, we got the cores.
Right.
It's good. We can figure this out. I'm just saying, it would almost be easier to just do this podcast live streamed than it is to record it.
And look, it's possible. It's possible.
It's possible. Yeah.
I don't know if it would just be talking or if we'd be painting or what, but yeah, I was really surprised at how possible setting up a Twitch stream is. I really thought the kind of buy-in cost of having the hardware that you need would be a lot higher, and I was surprised. Like, I mean, it helps that I already have a good
$50.
camera. Yeah.
Sure.
And it helps that I already have a good camera and I'm used to kind of, monitoring that with an external monitor and making sure everything's in focus. But and I was really thinking it was going to be an extra card I needed to slot into my computer, like a PCI card for capturing the HDMI out. But apparently it's a $20 dongle for HDMI to USB, which I didn't even know was a thing. And I plugged it in and it just worked. It was in the Streamlabs OBS, no problem. Like, there's your 1080p output from your good camera. Oh, okay. Your 7-year-old computer with the USB Wi-Fi connection. Close enough. Yeah, let's do it.
It reminds me, like, back in first generation World of Warcraft, vanilla, right? I started dating my wife, and I'd go over to her house, and she didn't have a computer for doing like anything on. And so I built her a computer out of like spare parts that I had at my house, and just kind of put a bunch of stuff together, went out, bought a Wi-Fi thing, and I got WoW to run on that computer, just vanilla WoW. And she started a character, and I was very happy. And I think that's the only thing that computer ever did.
That's the last time I was happy.
Yeah. She didn't play it very often. She just went to like a lab to do her homework instead of using that computer because I was playing WoW. That's how that story ends.
Memories.
Yeah. But yeah, the old USB Wi-Fi, like super janky. Yeah. It's good stuff.
But it does feel good when you can find a use for older hardware like that, and it kind of pulls through for you. Yeah. And so in that case, I was, I set up an old microphone, which was the microphone I used on the first 9 or 10 episodes of Goobertown Hobbies. And it was something I'd bought for some other thing a long time ago. But that USB microphone still kind of works. I got that hung over my painting space there. 2 quite old USB webcams. Those are doing their job. No excuse not to stream. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, yeah. Like I have one of the USB dongles. It's still I haven't opened it yet. I just assume it works.
Give it a shot.
I need to get a webcam. But like with this computer that I'm on, talking to you on, like, yeah, I could probably do some streaming. Plug that in. It's got a webcam. Someday.
There you go. So, do you hang out on Twitch much? Like, do you watch streams or?
Not a lot.
Okay.
Like, every so often, like if Scott's going on Miniac, and John is also there, I'll hang out for a bit, say hi. And then if Kenny is streaming Next Level Painting, I like to watch his stuff sometimes. But yeah, not all the time. It's kind of like whenever, like if somebody's streaming later, or if I'm working and I'm like doing something else while I'm at work, that kind of thing, then that works for me. But otherwise it's like I'm doing something else, not even at a computer. So it's tough to sit down for a couple hours. Yeah.
Normally it's if I'm doing something else and, just to have some background noise. And
sure.
Most streamers understand that most folks say hi and then kind of wander off and wander back in and, drop in and out of lurk mode. And yeah. So,
Yeah. So Goobertown
for,
Hobbies streaming full time, starting.
well, I wouldn't say full time, but I'm stream curious. You might
Stream
say.
curious. Okay, that's
Stream curious. Yeah. You know, we'll see if the audience enjoys it, if I'm able to get some painting done while actually streaming, if it you know,
that's the key, right? If you can actually get work done,
if it invigorates me and gives me ideas, or if it just makes me tired and it causes me to say, well, done painting for today after not really painting anything. You know, we'll see.
I painted a leg. I'm done.
Yeah. Hung out and streamed for 4 hours and painted a leg. It's enough painting for today.
I mean, if you can see, that's the secret though, right? Like if you can figure out a way to get a lot of work done on a stream, have a good stream, then essentially you can double up, right? You can take your video from your stream, edit it down into a tutorial, and you're golden.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. You have to have moments where this is the way I normally paint for a video anyway. It's I'm painting along and then I say, okay, I'm going to turn on the camera for 60 seconds right here and try to get, 15 good seconds of in focus, relevant painting so that I can say, and then I did a layer of green and I'll use, 4 seconds of that. And
right.
But anyway, during stream, if I just say like, all right, guys, I'm going to get my 60 seconds right now. No one talk to me.
I like that. I like that.
Or they can talk to me. I just won't be reading.
You just won't read it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like if everybody's under, if everybody knows what's going on, right? Like we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Then that makes perfect sense. Like, okay, got to do this thing. Can't mess it up.
Yeah. You'll be seeing this footage again later. You'll be seeing 5 seconds of this footage again later.
But in 4K. Yeah.
Exactly. You get your 1080p in now with like face cam taking up half the screen. Yeah.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. So today mostly I just showed off some test marines I'm working on. So I saw a really cool shade of blue, of phthalo blue on some marines on Instagram, and I finally said, "Whoa, that might be the color of my marines,"
but not ultramarines.
We both buy used minis, and the marines, they pile up. Marines are in every starter kit and almost every release, every box. There's just some marines in there. So you start buying used stuff. Hey, the marines pile up, and I'm actually thinking of doing a video in the not too distant future where I kind of do an unboxing on just all the marines.
Just
I
how
have
many
around
marines
here.
you have.
Yeah.
How many?
See if I have a company
how many
or not.
points? Yeah.
I got a few. Yeah. But no, for ever since I was getting started in the hobby, it was a question of if I was to paint some Space Marines, what color would they be? And I've had a couple of answers over the past 20 years that I've given some thought to, but I've never really committed. But man, this shade of blue right here, maybe this is the answer.
Phthalo.
Maybe this is the answer I've been looking for.
I mean, it's got a nice vibrancy to it. The transition from that dark phthalo to the light is nice. It's nice. Yeah.
And I mean, this is something that I've come to appreciate more and more, that as you're picking colors for a single model or for a whole army or whatever it is, sometimes just finding like the one color that's going to make that thing work. Sometimes that's a long quest to get to that point, but once you find the one color, sometimes things just start to snap into place. So I'm hoping that's where we're at right now on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they look good. I think you're well on your way to having a 2,000 point not ultramarine. It's not ultramarine. I'm thinking
not ultramarine. Maybe Crimson Fist.
Okay, so the ultramarines with one red fist.
Yeah, that's the next phase, is just figuring out what I want for the little smaller colors and whether there's going to be icons on these guys or not. But
right, yeah.
mostly blue. Cool.
Sure.
And
It's not too bad.
I'm definitely thinking about a video that's just called like, WTF am I going to do with all these small Marines? And it's, I just paint up a bunch of small Marines, like make a pile. Yeah.
Give them to your cats. I honestly don't know. It's all of the Marines across the entire game. It's like, I've read a few things. They're like, oh yeah, those are still, useful.
Oh no,
for something.
The answer is that I'm going to paint them up as fast as I can, so that when quarantine is lifted, you can say, like, my friends are finally able to play a game against me where I have a fully painted army, even if it's kind of a little out of date. Because, for real, if this is what I laughingly call my job, and we've been in quarantine for a year, and I still don't have a painted army to play with, like, what are we doing? Right? I
mean, and we've had this conversation
many times.
I have painted now within quarantine. I believe it's 3 or 4 armies, 3 or 4, 2,000 plus points.
Very
so
cool.
yeah, no excuses, man.
No excuses.
Like, no excuses.
Yeah.
So this Phthalo Blue looks like it's doing it for you.
We gotta commit. We gotta get in there.
Can I make a suggestion? Okay. Maybe don't do Crimson Fists, because that's one more color. Let's keep this to Phthalo and get some Ultramarines out the gate. Get that army done.
I'm thinking about it. The blue is so good. The red just takes away from it. So for real though, I did these with the airbrush, and I really like that Payne's gray color as a shadow color. You shoot from underneath. You build it's essentially black, but you build up some like black shadows that transition really nicely to whatever's on top. And the shoulder pad for a Space Marine is like the perfect shape to really showcase that technique, because it goes from like, essentially black on the underside of the shoulder pad, and just such a smooth transition to whatever the color of the Marine is. If you're cluttering that up with a bunch of squad markings and chapter insignia,
depends.
I don't know, man.
I mean, yeah, I see what you mean. Because that is kind of annoying. Like, you got such a creamy, smooth transition. If you throw on like a little Ultramarine transfer or something, that does kind of kill it a little bit. Although there is something to be said for 100 Ultramarines lined up with every transfer on everything. It does look good.
Yeah. So there is that page in a lot of Space Marine codices where it has the picture of 100 Marines. So my understanding of the Codex Astartes is that Space Marine chapters have 1,000 Marines, which is 10 companies of 100 Marines, and that for an adult with disposable income, it is a reasonable goal to get 100 Space Marines and eventually paint them someday. So for like someone who's making a Space Marine army, like one battle company of Space Marines, 100 Space Marines is a reasonable and obtainable theoretical goal.
I mean, I probably have 100 Space Marines.
Oh, sure. And I expect I do also. I am curious to see how many of the little guys with bolters I have.
I think I only have Primaris.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I've only gotten Primaris in random weird lots. I know, it's weird. I think I have 3 Squat Marines. 3.
Whew.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be an interesting video, I'll tell you what. But but yeah, I mean, there is something to be said about, and then, each battle company has 10 squads of 10 Marines. And so, there's prescribed iconography for all of this stuff. So if you, are sticking with the Codex Astartes and you're, you're getting your squad markings on there, and your company markings, and your chapter markings. You got your veterans badges. You got your campaign badge. You get all that stuff on there, and you don't screw up the decals. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a pretty cool thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of decals. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well,
or a lot of freehand.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it depends on what it is, right? For Ultramarines, I'd almost opt for freehanding.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not so terrible.
Right.
I mean, for the bigger ones, like the like tank sized ones, probably not so much, but
yeah,
still, like the little, I don't know. I guess it just depends.
Decals on a nice flat tank, that's easy. That's beautiful.
Right. That's
but on a shoulder
Rounded
pad
shoulder
that curves
pads.
a full 180 degrees, it's harder than they make it out to be. Like,
oh, for sure.
So many...
They do the tutorials on there, and it's like, oh, it's no big deal. A little warm water, a little Q-tip action, a little brush tip, hard coated on there. You're good. Like, thanks, GW. How long did that take you?
That's something that's worth a discussion one of these days. But like every one of their
how bad does that lie? Yeah.
Every one of their starter boxes has a set of decals in it, and like here's the shoulder pad, which in some ways is a pretty, nice flat area, except it's a nice, really curved flat area, and most of those decals are gonna make some like weird bubbles, even if you have the proper but not GW microsole microset.
I've done decals, and I can never seem to get them just right. Like, every so often I'll nail one and it'll just be like, oh, that's it. I figured it out.
Right.
You know? And then you go to do that next one and it's just the same garbage. Yeah. Try and come in there with a freaking X-Acto. Like, well, maybe if I just will snip here, maybe that'll help. Like, never helps. Always makes it worse. Yeah. Someday. I mean, I see people do it. I literally, like, I watch them in real time. And I go, this cannot be that difficult. And they're just like, yeah, just a little this and that, and you're done. It's like, I don't get it. Don't understand.
There's hidden variables. I am positive of that. Like, from all my used deals, I have a lot of like 10, 15-year-old transfer sheets. And I'm pretty sure those age poorly.
Yeah.
I am quite sure those age poorly.
Yeah. I actually just bought some print your own decal stuff. So I'm kind of curious if that works a little differently.
I've tried it. It's okay. It's not better than the stuff you get from GW. But you can make your own. You can make your own symbols that are smaller and don't require bending so much.
That's a good point, actually.
Make a spear instead of a skull, like, something that has fewer dimensions. Or
so the short answer is to this long conversation is like, don't do anything that doesn't work on a round surface. So like Ultramarines that you should be able to bend pretty well.
Sure.
Should. Blood Angels, little blood drop. Either you can freehand those, or that shape's not very big. It should go on a shoulder pad just fine. Most everything else like looks
Imperial
way
Fist,
too that one
Fist.
the most like. Oof. And I opt for painting yellow more than anything else for something like that. So like Imperial Fists, yes. Like I did the squats, or not the squats, but the what are they? Scouts. Not squats, almost. I did the scouts, and those were Imperial Fists. I did not put the decals on. It does bring up a thing that I was supposed to mention earlier. I said I had beef.
Beef?
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, let's do it.
Somebody else is going, he's bringing it up. Yeah, that's right.
Let's
go. So you know how you painted your Slaves to Darkness all yellow, and you used the pink to yellow. Yeah. And you know how in that video you mentioned how, yeah, I think I saw this, like Casey did this once on a eBay Miniature Rescues video. Like, you literally say it in that video.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm just saying.
I don't
getting
remember.
it out there. Okay, well, you did. Either way. I cannot tell you how many times, if I even go near yellow, people are like, you should go watch Brent's video on how to paint yellow because he'll tell you how to do it. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, please go watch that video. So
That's pretty funny, actually.
it's funny, and it just gets me. Because it's like, yes, I know that is a way.
I'm to blame here.
No. I'm not blaming you at all. No, in fact, if anything, I'm pointing out the fact that you even said, like, oh yeah, like I got this from over here. Right. And I'm not saying I'm trying to take credit for it. Like, I didn't invent that. I got that from somebody else. I don't even know who. It's probably Vince or something. But the point is, every time I try and paint yellow, like in that Imperial, whatever, yeah, it was like, here's a bunch of suggestions on go watch that video that Brent did on painting yellow with pink.
You go watch it.
Yeah, me go watch it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You just gotta get a timestamp of if I allegedly said your name. Just reply with that timestamp.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Or just keep talking, crap about those people here on Paint Bravely, the podcast, and
yeah,
they'll know you're talking about them. They'll know.
They probably, I don't know. I mean, it's been lots of people. It's not like just one person. I've literally gotten that at least 20 or 30 times in the last 3 or 4 months.
So here's something terrible. I actually really want to try that paint scheme on a Space Marine, but I can't do that anymore. I can't.
What do you mean? You just can't handle it?
I'm already doing so many Chaos Warriors in that exact pink to yellow that I can't do a pink to yellow Space Marine. Like, I'm curious. Maybe I can use just like one, probably not make a video of it. If I make a video of it,
just to try
people
it.
will
well,
rebel.
So the alternative is to just use burnt umber.
Oh, sure. That's also a good
because
look. Yeah.
It looks, I mean, it's not exactly the same.
It's a different
type of thing, but it's very similar.
It's a good look. Yeah.
Especially for getting like an army painted, it's probably a little bit easier option.
You don't have to worry about making sure all the pink is covered up. Yeah.
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 So, it's a thing. Yeah. But that was the beef. That I just thought I'd bring that up because I meant to bring it up earlier, and then we got back on Imperial Fist yellow, and yeah. So Crimson Fists, man.
So I did try painting on these little fists, and it's easier to freehand these little stylized fists than you might expect. So might
need to like paint them.
Might give that some practice. If I do that on 100 Marines, that's one way to up my freehanding skill. I'll tell you that.
Oh, you freehanded the red fist?
Yeah, the actual fist.
Oh, that's cool. I thought you just painted the fist red. I was like, yes, base coating. You're like, it's easier than you think. Like,
No, on a flat shoulder pad, which has previously been sprayed with blue. I took my red and a little paintbrush, and I painted in a fist the chapter marking for the Crimson Fist chapter.
That's cool.
Actually, the official chapter marking has a perfect circle into which the fist is inscribed, but I am not freehanding a perfect circle.
So here's how you do that, right? You get like a straw or something cylindrical that's just the right size, and you cut it just the right way, and you dip that in paint, and then you dab it on there. There's your circle.
And how is this not your hot tip of the day? Casey, can you rephrase that as a hot tip of the day? Just because if anyone's still listening, they'll get to this hot tip of the day.
If you want to freehand a perfect circle, look for something cylindrical like a straw and dip that in some paint and dab it on your miniature where you want that circle to be. and it will transfer
Yeah, I'm
as a
gonna have to
perfect circle.
do a lot of careful cutting to get that straw to fit this crazy curve of the shoulder pad, but
Yeah,
it's
okay.
possible.
You
It's
might have
doable.
to.
It's doable.
Little Sharpie action. I think you can get it in there.
Yeah, it's gonna take a
There's
lot of
probably something
miscuts,
else
but
to
as
do
long as I
that.
make that one
Yeah.
perfect straw and I don't lose it,
It's true.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you get your template, right? Get your template going.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be a really good way to do that. Even like the end of a super glue thing. If you cut that just right, just boom, every time you paint a little arrow, that's right, this way up. Yeah, you got that.
Yeah, we gotta get more into stamps, I think. Yeah.
A stamp would actually be great. Why
Look,
don't we use
we're gonna
stamps
look
more
into
often in
this.
this hobby?
But if you take nothing else away from today, I'm a little red fist curious, in addition to stream curious. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of this is going to be resolved in part 2 also, I think.
Part 2 of your...
Yeah, we're not going to figure this all out today. How could we? Yeah.
No, just try it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had another hot tip.
Okay. You want it? You're just dropping that
now?
now?
You want to like save that for later?
I mean, I guess mine was not real, technically.
Okay.
You made me say that.
Okay, so we're just going to chain into a real hot tip. And I'm stealing this straight from James Wobble. So if you do this in the future, make sure to tell James Wobble that Goobertown sent you.
Yeah, unlike if you're trying to paint yellow.
Okay. Fine. So this is gold, and it's something I did in one of my last videos, but gold with hints of purple and green looks really cool. Mm-hmm. So you got yourself some armor, you got yourself a big giant bell being used as a chain mace by a rat man or something. You paint that gold, and then maybe just a little squirt of purple, just a little squirt of green, and it's got that patina on it that looks sweet.
Yeah.
And this is a situation where you don't necessarily need an airbrush. You could just do a little bit of a wash, like a little bit of a glaze kind of thing, a little bit of purple, a little bit of green.
Get some ink works pretty good for that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. That's just a little quick tip. You paint something gold, it looks all right the way it is. Sure, you use a little bit of silver to do a highlight on it, make it look a little bit better. You want to really kick that up a notch? Book of Wobble says pull out some purple, pull out some green.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. You say Book of Wobble. This is also CK Studios' go-to.
Is it?
Golds, yes. Yeah. And I mean, they're all from the same school, aren't they? Anyways. But I just took that CK Studios class, and part of it, this weirdly enough, just to kind of recap, it ended up being the same class that I took in Vegas. Like, exactly.
So is this
I thought it was
CK Studios Airbrushing 101 class or something else?
It was the 101 partially. Like, everybody pretty much, I think one person had an airbrush before in the class, but it was painting, basically learning to paint like large vehicles, things with panels, lots of metals. I've used the technique a lot, doing that kind of same thing where you're like, okay, well, you know, I have certain kinds of metals. I actually have an example right here, and like throwing in a bunch of different colors to make it look more interesting, and then dry brushing over that. But for gold specifically, we painted these armatures, like the warglaves, and you do your gold for the trim, come in with purple, come in with the green, and it kind of gives it this like almost like non-metallic look where it shifts abruptly from purple to green in certain areas. It looks really cool. Then you come back over it and you edge highlight all that, and yeah, it's got that patina. It just has really interesting look to it. It's the same exact thing that Wobble does. So it's pretty funny. It's like they both do that. I just went over this on a model like last week.
Nice. Yeah. So learn anything else from that class? Any more hot tips?
Hot tips from that class. Let's see here.
Or just like, how was it to see other painters in person? Like,
honestly, that was the highlight.
yeah.
Is hanging out with other hobbyists. You know, it was still everybody had to wear masks and we're all in this big open room and stuff, but it was pretty awesome to just be in that kind of space again and be able to talk about doing the hobby. I don't know, it was a good time, man. Like, I missed it way more than I thought I did.
I'm jealous. Yeah. How have we gone 100 minutes and we haven't talked about this yet? That sounds awesome.
That's a way bigger news.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. I actually, you know, what's cool too is a patron of my channel took the class with me.
Nice.
And that was pretty awesome too. Like, it's a weird thing to have happen. Like, somebody just happens to live in the same area, show up to class, and it's like, oh, what's going on?
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so it's cool. I think she's a patron of yours too.
Nice.
Pretty sure. Anyways, we'll get on that.
Yeah,
later. But
anyone else recognize you there? Be like, oh, that's a eBay guy.
Nobody said anything.
Nobody said anything? Okay.
Yeah. There weren't a ton of people.
In disguise,
yeah. No, but it's kind of funny because throughout the whole day, it was a full day. People were talking about like miniature painters and stuff. Your name came up a few times.
Cool.
Yeah, including that yellow thing, painting pink and yellow. I'm not even kidding. Not even joking. That literally came up. That's, you know what? That's funny. That's why it reminded me.
And you know, actually, the first time I heard about that yellow thing was a little hot tip from the comment section of one of my videos. Someone was like, "Oh, you got an airbrush? Try this." And they just dropped that hot tip on me. And first I thought they were crazy, but no,
it totally works.
No,
like, I'm telling you, man. Like, the literal first video on my channel was doing that. The literal first video.
Wonderful.
Like 2 years ago. Not that I expect anybody to care or give me credit whatsoever, or I'm saying that at all, because I'm not. I'm just, just messing around. But I just thought it was people sitting like next to me. I have a Goobertown mug, literally. That's my water mug. And like, oh yeah, Goobertown video, painting yellow, man. You use pink. Do you see that? Yeah, use pink. You go over the top of it. Like, I'm gonna do that on this model. It's like, no, we're gonna do something else. It's like, oh my god, it's like, I'm right here. I'm literally right here.
Well, my video on it got more clicks than your video on it. So
yes, actually, I wonder if it did. Yeah, I'm sure it did.
That was just one of my videos that hit hard for no good reason. It took me like a day to throw it together.
It's awesome because it was super awesome. There's also the same week that I did using pink to paint yellow on the Slaves to Darkness models that aren't your Slaves to Darkness models.
Well, I just got some in the mail from that second round from that one guy who didn't know how to list things properly on eBay.
I think it's the same. It's the one that comes in the starter, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what they're called. Like Iron Golems, maybe?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my Iron Golems video that came out the same week as you're painting yellow with pink is also me painting the Iron Golems pink with yeah. You see.
All right. Well, so most of the experience at your painting class was fun, though. It was good to see other people.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah,
it was definitely good. And
very good.
The cool thing is, because they are West Coast based, like Caleb Wisenbach lives 20 minutes away from me. So he's teaching classes on the West Coast. They're going to be jumping back and forth between a couple of stores, one in Sacramento, which is a couple hours away from me, and one here in Reno, where I live. So they're going to be doing classes like every month, and I'm going to be going and hanging out and learning some stuff and painting bravely. So hopefully I can get some hot tips to throw down.
You're going to have so many armatures painted. That's going to be great.
Right? Oh, see okay. So the next class, it's in Sacramento. It's painting a Plague Burst crawler, like the big tank for Death Guard, and a Plague Marine. And like I've seen the one that he's already painted for the class. It looks awesome, and it's a lot of cool stuff with the airbrush, which is really why I'm taking the classes. I just want to like get more of that airbrush practice and being purposeful about it, all that stuff. And I can't go to that class because that's the same week that my daughter will be born. So we have a scheduled C-section. So I'm going to miss that class. And I have no idea what's after that, but it'll be in town like the month after. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry for that. I'm wishing you the best of luck with your family stuff, but it would amuse me if you end up just taking the 101 class over and over and over.
Yeah.
Make yourself a little Armiger Knight Army, and yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, like, because we were talking about it, and Caleb was like, "Oh man, like, you almost got a full Knight Army going." Like, I took the one in Vegas, got one there. Yeah. So, yeah, like a couple more classes. He said, like, a couple more classes, you'll have yourself a full army. So he definitely picked up on that joke too. It was good.
Yeah, well, I'm jealous that that's going on in driving distance for you. That's really cool. Hey, very good, very good.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's like if they're not doing something, everybody else lives on the other side of the country. All the fun stuff seems to happen over there. So,
but the grass is always greener. I don't know that the East Coast is necessarily a hotbed. I mean, down in Virginia, DC area, there's Nova Open, but I think that's it, right? Like,
I mean, I'm still thinking like Adepticon, and even if they're not fully on the East Coast, it's like it's right, more Chicago. Than like yeah, Chicago. Like it's pretty far over there, right? It's far away from me.
I mean, a lot of places are far away from you, but yeah,
it's true. But not these classes. So I'm glad.
Well, that's that the beauty said, of the internet is it brings us together even though we're far away.
That's very true. That is very true. Even though I'm not taking that class with the Plague Burst Crawler, I bought 2 of them.
Well, that way you can do some practice.
Yeah. See what I can get done without more knowledge, I guess. Not that I don't think I can paint them just fine, but
you got to find somebody else who goes to that class to give you their tips. Okay, so here's a question.
Okay.
So CK Studio, I think CK Studios is the biggest company, group, whatever that does this. But you, as a media personality, if you take their class and you learn some hot tips there, do you feel bad about selling off those hot tips in your videos?
Yes,
giving away the
100%.
Secrets?
So, okay. The model I pulled out earlier that I will pull out again, this model, I painted this after I took the Vegas class. And I made the video and I talked about, hey, like, I learned how to do this thing from these people. And it was really cool. And I'm going to try and replicate that, not so much in the same way that they did it, but like kind of using the idea behind it. Like not going step by step following their directions, but going like, okay, to paint metal on large creatures, to do that really fast and to have a really effective and cool looking thing. It's kind of like putting purple and green on gold for silver, or gold or whatever on a large body. It's like, yeah, burnt umber in the shadows and some purple in the mids and some green or blues in the highlights to get that kind of sky reflection. Then you dry brush that with silver from the top down. You kind of maintain this look, and the whole idea was you put a bunch of colors into your metallics because metal is going to reflect everything around it for the most part, and the more that you have going on, the more interesting it is to look at. So if you're trying to speed paint metal, well, this is a really effective way to do that. So that was the information that I sold rather than using their step-by-step system. And Justin from CK Studios was like, oh, hey man, thanks for the CK Studios shout out and kind words and stuff like in the comments. So I feel like I didn't make anybody mad, you know?
Yeah.
So that's
Keeper
good.
of Secrets isn't coming for you, huh?
Nope, not today. Yeah.
You'll never see him coming. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. You know, I do feel, I would feel bad for just like wholesale sharing exactly what they taught in like an 8-hour class in like a 15-minute video. Yeah, I would feel really bad.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm always looking for new tips to share on my channel and stuff, and
Yeah.
I just have an image of me like, you know, showing up to one of these classes, and I pull out my notebook, and I'm just sitting there like in the front row, just writing down everything.
What's that Goobertown doing? He's taking notes.
Oh, you'll be seeing.
Well, he
this
has a
again
PhD.
Soon,
Like he's a note taker. Next week on
I'm
Goobertown.
sorry, could you say that again?
Hey, as long as you're not bringing a camera and like a handheld recorder and taking notes, you're like, why aren't you painting, Brent? You're like, no reason, just write it down.
Just standing behind Caleb with like a telescopic lens. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I just want to remember it. That's all.
I just want to remember it. Yeah.
I just want to remember it. Yeah. That would probably not work. I mean, okay, the thing is too, like Caleb, I mean, okay, Sam Lenz, Vince Venturella, right? All of the people that teach these classes also do some kind of streaming or videos. Right. Anyways, it's not like these things are secrets that they're holding back. It's about applying these techniques in certain situations and making them look good.
Yeah. Right.
That's the point of it. It's not even that they're trying to hide anything from us.
Yeah. I just don't, I have this like joke image in my head of making a video like, I took this CK Studios class, so you don't have to.
So you don't have to. Oh, that would be incredible. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
I really enjoyed my time in this class. You know, to my mind, there were about 5 hot tips in there that were actually worthwhile, and here they go. Hot tip number 1.
Number 1, just number 1. Oh, that would be. Yeah, I have a feeling like you'd probably get called out for that for sure. Yeah. Otherwise, you know, nothing is new. Everything is learned. We're all just sharing it as it comes up again.
Right, exactly. And, you know, whenever I do share a hot tip that I have a really clear memory of, like, where I learned that information, I do try to remember to be like, yeah, this is where I got this tidbit.
Yeah. Like, I wish I could remember where I learned the whole pink with yellow thing.
Enough with the pink and yellow. Yeah.
I'm just going to keep bringing it up for fun.
I got it from a random comment on my channel.
Yeah.
And yeah, at that point I had seen some of your videos. I'd just forgotten about the pink and yellow, I think. Yeah.
I'm not worried.
Look,
about
it's not
it.
important.
No, I'm just saying, like, if I had remembered where I learned it from to begin with, I feel like I would have said something.
Sure.
But I honestly don't.
It's not like you're going to go back and ever watch those old videos again. So
it's true.
You may never know.
I wouldn't recommend anyone go back and watch that first video. I would recommend them going back and watching that Slaves to Darkness video that you made, though, because it's sweet.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah. What else do we got here?
Let's see here. Well, yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to buy things just because, like, I don't know. Like, I almost bought a 40K kill team the other day.
You almost bought what?
Like a 40K kill team. Like,
okay.
Just because.
Okay. You know, in the scheme of things, that's okay. That's fun. That's video content. You might end up playing some games of Kill Team. Like, you can't be beating yourself up over buying a Kill Team.
No, not necessarily.
What was that? 10 models? I mean, maybe 20 if you want a lot of alternates and options.
Yeah. Right. No, like 4 models for like $100 kind of thing.
Oh,
you know?
what? What
like
are you doing?
Terminators and stuff. I haven't bought any of that stuff. No, I've been on this kick lately because, like, you know, I played a 500-point game of Warhammer for the first time in like 20 years. And like, I went to a class and things are looking up. And now I'm just like, I need kill teams. I need Necromunda teams. Like, I literally have like, I don't know, 1,200 points of Death Guard coming in the mail. I don't know when I'm going to paint it. I don't know what's happened to me. All these things are happening, and I don't know what to do about it. Yeah.
You'll paint them eventually. Put them in the pile.
Eventually. There is a pile. I mean, I'd like to do a full Death Guard army just to have it. Because I got a whatever the hell, Mortarion, you know, from eBay. So, like, I can do that one. That's a good one.
Definitely. And again, you don't have to put the eBay connection into every video. You don't have to. Yeah.
Don't I?
You were doing your 3D printing the other day, and you're like, I looked for resin on eBay, but
yeah.
you were doing your conversions, and I was pretty sure that you bought those models new, but you're like, here's some eBay postings that I found, you know, for these models on here.
No, I actually bought all of those, the cyborgs.
Oh, okay.
I bought those as is.
Your trees.
Oh, yeah, well. I did buy I bought all of that stuff on eBay. I bought the tree people, the plague bears. I only actually have metal ones left at my house. I got 40 or 20 or 40, I can't remember, of the old pewter ones. But all my plastic ones are painted and in my Nurgle army. I got like 120 or 40 of them. It's a stupid amount of plague bears.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I did have to buy those, and I did buy them on eBay. But I don't know. I mean, I see your point. I've not heard a compelling enough argument for me to step away from that to, I guess, risk it. I don't even know if that's the right word. I don't know.
I'm not worried.
Someday it'll be like Goobertown Miniature Rescues, and that's what it'll be called. And
I've actually got a project in mind for a Goobertown rescue.
Okay.
This is a model I bought off of eBay many years ago at this point.
Yeah.
It's Adzrubael Vecht, the Lord of the Dark Eldar, and that is a terrible paint job, terrible model, very broken. Someday.
Interesting.
Anyway, I'm just giving away all the hot tips here, all the secrets.
Oh, speaking of hot tips, I did learn another hot tip at my CK Studios painting class. Oh my
goodness. Yeah, tell us so we don't have to take that class. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, hot tip number 1. I
Page
actually
1 of the syllabus. Yeah.
Right. So normally when I cut my paints in my airbrush, I use like flow improver, right? That's like a hot tip. Most people, I would call that a hot tip. Like, use flow improver. It's great. Because most people don't even know to use that, right? So hey, if you got some of that, do that. But no, Caleb was talking about using glaze medium to cut your paints with. And like, I've got some glaze medium. It's kind of thick. It's not like it's super thin.
Yeah.
But holy crap. Like, it works really well.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a recent Squidmar video where he was given some hot tips of his own. One of his hot tips is like, I bought all these mediums and I basically never use them. So
right.
Keep that in mind. And I'm in a pretty similar boat here. I made like one video about making washes, but mostly I don't use my media that I've bought here, but I am quite sure I have a bottle of glazed medium around, and if I can just kind of get rid of that through my airbrush, let's do it.
So yeah, using glazed medium and then matte varnish too, if you want to cut a paint. Like, so I use a little bit of matte varnish, use a little bit of glaze medium, with like a white ink.
Yeah.
it holds the body of that pigment together, especially like the Liquitex stuff, you know? And it's even smoother than it is out of the bottle. And I'm not even kidding.
So like Liquitex, glaze medium, Liquitex inks, mix it up, put it through the airbrush.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I in fact I've been using that all day today. I've been painting all day because today's a work day.
I would have taken one of those classes, and actually back in, could have been 19, could have been 18. I did take one of the classes with Sam, but he never shared that tip with me. Man, I wish I.
No, this is a new thing that Caleb was talking about, because his whole thing was like, oh, forever. He's like, yeah, I cut all my airbrush paints with 90% water, 10% isopropyl alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I mean, hey, like he said that works. That's what he did forever. He's a good painter, way better than I am.
Mm-hmm.
That seems weird though, because isopropyl alcohol and acrylic paint does not mix. Doesn't work.
Haven't tried it.
Well,
I'll take your word for it, but I haven't tried it.
Okay, well, isopropyl alcohol, you use that to like clean paint out of your airbrush.
Yeah, but that means the paint is reasonably soluble in it, you know?
Sure, except I don't know, it's a thing.
Okay.
And it worked, obviously. But he said this whole thing, like the glaze medium, the matte varnish, the stuff together works way better. And yeah, like for sure I've been using it and it works pretty nicely. Like whereas like the flow improver I like, but it definitely it feels like the paint has less stick, right? Because it's supposed to. It's flow improver. It's like a drying retarder almost. And it doesn't exactly hold the pigment together. It starts to break things up the further that you mix that down. Whereas the medium, it's adding more medium, right? Yeah. And like, yeah, you can break that apart eventually. But it feels stronger than the flow improver. And even though it's a little bit thicker, like, you know, I added a little bit of water if it was too thick, but I haven't had any problem shooting out of my Patriot at all today using that. And like dry tips is about the same, you know, same level as using flow improver. But yeah, man, like kind of crazy actually.
Excellent.
Especially with that white ink. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a hot tip for you. It's a good one.
Man, that was a great tip to kind of close up on here, Casey.
I think so. That was good.
And you know, even if you don't have an airbrush, I think there's still probably some fun things you can do with glaze medium. Haven't found them yet because I don't spend enough time with glaze medium, but
you don't glaze with your paints.
Maybe now's a good time to start. Yeah.
If you want an awesome tutorial and reason to use your glaze medium, Vince Venturella has a really good glazing technique video, and Dana Howell also. And actually, I prefer hers. It's a little more succinct, like step by step. Here's why. Here's how. The glaze medium. It's good stuff.
Knew there was a reason why I bought it. Not just because it came in a 4-pack with some other media either. Yeah.
Right. I bought the like $13 bottle of Liquitex. Still have it. It's never gonna go away.
Mm-hmm.
They also have matte varnish. Liquitex matte varnish.
Oh, I know.
Giant bottle.
Whew.
They got one of those too. Yeah. I haven't used it.
Yeah,
I haven't even opened it.
We should actually dig into this though. The people need to know. This is
like, is it worth buying the
job.
Giant Liquitex bottles of different things like mediums and varnishes and all that? It's an idea for an episode for sure. Maybe a main topic even.
That's a series right there.
Right, like one episode on each medium. Even.
Yeah. Well, what was the topic of this episode?
Well, originally it was supposed to be about basing, but I don't think we got there.
Well, we didn't get there. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll get there eventually. Well, Well, if it's okay with you, Casey, I'd like to close with one last tip, and it's something that helped me out a little bit earlier in life. Now, this is if you're trying to save money and you have glasses. One thing you can do is go to a university, and they need to train doctors to do laser eye surgery, and they do this a couple times a year, where they get some brand new doctors who need to learn how to laser up eyes, and you can get yourself some half-price laser eye surgery if you just get in at the right time. And I gotta tell you, 2 for 2, buddy. Saved me like $1,500
In glasses.
in eye surgery. And, by this point, probably glasses too. So, yeah, I think that's really all I had for today.
Well, I mean, that's good. And on that note, thank you again for joining us on another episode of Paint Bravely. If you enjoyed this podcast, please help us out by leaving us a review on iTunes, subscribing to the YouTube channel, and sharing this message with your hobby friends. And as always, we appreciate each and every one of you for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
We appreciate you. Have a great day.
Did you really get LASIK?
Yeah. Yeah, and they trained the doctors over a 3-day period. I made sure to get my appointment on the 3rd day.
The third day,
This
of
doctor
course.
had already
Yeah, of
been
course.
through like 50 of those procedures. He was rock solid.
Right.
Actually, kind of messed up one eye, but he was able to fix it. It was all right. So
Seriously, like just off a little by a centimeter. And
no, it was like he
took care
needed
of it
to
after.
flip up the flap of the cornea or whatever it's called.
Oh,
And-
yeah, because they shave that, right?
Yeah.
They fold it back and then they laser it.
Yeah, it was like the folding back they kept messing up on one of the eyes,
just was
but
flopping.
it's
Just
numb.
was
It was
flopping.
fine.
Okay.
Hey, 2020 for a while, yeah. No worries.
2020 vision. That's good.
Yeah. For a little while, one eye was like 2015 or something, but it was good. It was good.
That's cool.
Yeah, saved like $1,500.
Like, yeah, I guess.
I turned this off.
Yeah.